Hello everyone, this is Marcelo from PNCC, and today we teach you how to check and set the presets in EPU. We can access the presets under the Preparation tab. If we click here, we'll see a list that includes Atlas, Grid Square, Holocentric Height, Data Acquisition, and much more. Let's start with the Atlas preset. Here we can see some hidden features available under these small arrows. Most of them relate to camera and exposure settings. Under camera settings, for example, you can choose whether to bin the image. Under exposure settings, you can select linear or counting mode and decide whether the integrated image should be aligned. For every preset, you'll also find the Get and Set buttons. Get retrieves the current optical conditions from the microscope, and Set applies the preset's optic settings to the microscope. If we expand this arrow, we'll see the list of all magnifications available for the current mode, in this case LM, low magnification mode. Today we're using a Titan Cryos, so for the Atlas preset, we should choose the lowest magnification in the list. Also, make sure you're using the largest C2 aperture. If you still see any cutoff in your image after choosing the lowest magnification and the largest C2 aperture, you may need to redo the Atlas optics alignment to ensure the cryobox aperture is properly aligned to the microscope's optical axis. And now a quick note for the 200 kV systems. Even if the cryobox aperture is perfectly aligned, you need to find the lowest magnification where the image does not show any cutoff. Alright, moving on. If your system is equipped with an energy filter, you can choose whether to have the slit inserted and set its width. In our workflow, we prefer to keep the slit inserted at all times and simply adjust the slit width as needed. Let's click Preview, and we should see an image showing several grid squares. Great! Let's now move to the next preset. For the Grid Square preset, once again, we can inspect the camera and exposure settings, the exposure time, Get, Set, and magnification fields. One important difference is that the C2 aperture used here is automatically linked to the value specified in the Data Acquisition preset. If you want to use a different aperture, you need to change it from the Data Acquisition preset. Let's take a preview. You may notice that the slit width is being reduced with each preset, for example from 100 EV in Atlas down to 50 EV here. The goal for this preset is to ensure there is one complete and centered grid square in the image. Right now, we can see parts of adjacent squares, so the magnification is too low. Let's double the magnification. Now we have a fully centered grid square. Perfect. For demonstration purposes, let's increase the magnification to 1200. At this level, only the holes are visible and we cannot identify the grid square anymore. This means the magnification is too high for this preset's intended use. Let's go back to 740x and proceed to the Holocentric Height preset. From this preset, we'll be using counting mode and nanoprobe only. Again, a quick note for 200 kV systems. For the Holocentric Height preset, you may still need to use microprobe mode, as very low magnifications can cause the beam to fold over the field of view or introduce significant distortions. Alright, here we're using a 20 EV slit width. Let's take an image. The goal for this preset is to make sure we have at least one complete and centered foil hole and ideally partially visible neighboring holes. This improves the reliability of the hole finding algorithm. Beam damage can become significant from this preset, so try to keep the total dose below 1 electron per square angstrom for this preset. Since our hole is not centered, let's right-click near the center and select Move Stage here and Acquire. Now the hole is fairly centered, but the magnification is too high and we can't see part of the neighboring holes. Let's decrease the magnification. Great. Now the image provides exactly what EPU needs to reliably find and center a foil hole. Again, for demonstration purposes, let's try decreasing the magnification further. Although this still works reasonably well, now we can almost see the neighboring holes entirely, which is not ideal for this preset. So 8700 works best for the holocentric height preset on this microscope and for this grid type we're using. And now the most important one, the data acquisition preset. This preset defines all optical conditions used to collect the images during data collection. A key feature here is a dose rate measurement. You must measure the dose rate every time you open EPU or change optical settings. Click Measure to determine the dose rate received by the camera sensor. Make sure you are either over vacuum or over a thin layer of ice. In our case, the previous image from the holocentric height preset shows that we are over a thin layer of ice, so let's click Measure. When you do this, EPU first applies the data acquisition optics settings, then performs a dose rate measurement. So make sure the magnification is set correctly for your desired resolution beforehand. In this microscope, the current magnification corresponds to a 0.93 angstrom pixel size. For our conditions, we measured 8.7 electrons per pixel per second, which falls in the green zone, meaning it's suitable for high-quality data acquisition. If the value is outside the green zone, adjust the illumination and click Measure again. Now let's choose a total dose, for example, 40 electrons per square angstrom. EPU will automatically adjust the exposure time to achieve this dose. If you are using a Falcon 4i detector, keep the fraction set to EER, electron, event, registration, so the detector records the individual electron events. Let's move the stage to another hole and take an image with the data acquisition preset. Good. As expected, the total dose received by the sensor closely matches the value we set. Moving on, we can see a chain link in the next presets: autofocus, drift measurement, zero loss, and tone ring. That's because they are currently linked to the data acquisition preset. For example, in autofocus, you won't be able to modify the optics settings unless you disable link settings. Once unlinked, you can adjust everything except the C2 aperture, which is natively linked to the data acquisition preset. Even if you make changes, for example, removing the slit here, all settings will re-synchronize once link settings is enabled again. We recommend keeping link settings enabled unless there is a strong reason not to. Because the other presets are linked to the data acquisition one, we won't cover them in detail here. However, you may still find it helpful to independently adjust camera or exposure settings, since only the optics remain linked. And as a friendly reminder, the image shift calibration is magnification dependent. If you change the magnification in any preset, please consider rechecking this calibration. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please like and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment below with your questions or requests for future videos, and we'll be happy to answer them.